Hey, family, it is your sister, Just Angel. How is everybody doing? Hit that like, smash that notification bell, and subscribe to your sister channel. Yes, family, yes, 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 yes. As I always say, there is nothing better than a hot cup of coffee and a chit chat with the fam talking about our coins. Ain't that right, family? While I'm drinking my coffee, family, hit that like for your sister. Yes, family. Mm. I'm so glad I'm back, family. It's amazing. It is so amazing when we can sit down and just talk about what we really love, right, family? We love our coins. We love to talk about what's going on. We know right now silver's gone down. We know that the gold has gone down, family. And I'm still going around, shopping here and there, seeing what I can find at a reasonable premium, right? As you can see, I didn't say a reasonable price. I said a reasonable premium. That's where we're at, family. That's where we're at. But family, I love to share my experience. Last time we got together, I talked about my local coins store here. And when I went in and bought a lot of the American Eagles, the gentleman was not really happy because I got it at a really good price, and he's probably used to getting, I had bought a whole tube, so I got it, under 1,300, and we know that they're used to getting people to pay for a whole tube. Online could be up to 1,800. When you're finished with your tax. If you don't have tax, you still got your shipping. Sometimes 1,600, 1,800. We know the prices, but yo, sister, we've been running around. You and I know you guys been running around as well, seeing what we can find at our local coin shop. So I like to share my experience. My last experience was really nice, even though the guy was grumpy because I got a whole tube at a real good price. But the lady, me and her connected. She was a really nice lady. We got to chit chat and talk about, coins, and, she really liked, the coins I chose. And, we were just talking about, online companies and stuff. And it's just really amazing. It's funny how I got a lot of, now that I'm looking at it, I got a lot of the Queen. I got the Queen with the maple. I got her with the Superman. I got her with all kind of kookaburra. I got that Queen. But I have to apologize to some of the fam, because they were telling me, Angel, when I'm watching your video and you're touching those coins with your hands, they're cringing because they don't want me to get, a lot of us ladies, we moisturize, with our little oils and things and perfume. And they're right, because I'm always moisturizing. And they were concerned that I'll mess the coin up. So I'll be careful, family, because you know what? I know you guys watch the videos, and I get it. I get it. Even though somebody might say, well, it's her coin, she could do what she wants. But as professionals, we really want to take care of our coins. So I appreciate you guys. Those only a couple of you guys that were, maybe 2 or 3 of you. But it was enough for me to say, geez, let me put some gloves on. Let me be mindful when I'm touching the coins. But I just love them. Like the one I'm going to show you. I was a little bit upset I wasn't able to touch that coin yet. I'm going to have to figure out how to open the case. But family, let me share what had happened during this local coin shop I went to go visit. I went to go to the local coin shop here in my area. I'm in Sacramento, California. And I got it on the edges, guys. I got it on the edge. But anyway, I'm talking to the guy. I'm talking about the local coin shop. I went to the local coin shop, and when I got there, it was kind of hidden. You know how they have the strip malls? It was kind of hidden. And when I got to the door, there was a buzzer. Okay, now the last coin shop I went to, they had the big window and everything was through the window. I wasn't able to like touch everything. Like, you know how you go to some of these coin shows or you see them online, you can actually go in and look in the glass cases. Well, the first local coin shop I went to, you couldn't do that. You couldn't go into the case. You know, everything was like a bulletproof window, and you just were, you know, and it was kind of strange because I had to point at what I wanted to look at. And you know, and even though, you know, I get it. I mean, you're dealing with, you know, who knows what's going on in their neighborhoods. I'm not familiar with all the neighborhoods, so I don't know what's going on at night or what they've had any, you know, experiences. They're just being safe. So this coin shop I went to, I get to the door and there's a doorbell. And I'm looking in and I see a cage and I see, you know, that it's a coin, you know, shop, but you have to buzz in. So I'm thinking, oh, okay. So I ring the bell and the guy, you know, buzzes me in, but there's another cage. So I can't like walk in yet. And he says, "Are you here to buy or sell?" And I said, "I'm here to buy." And then he buzzed me in. And then when I got into the shop, there's a big TV, which I like. I like when they have the big TV that shows where the gold is at per ounce and where the silver is at per ounce. That way I don't have to play any games. I don't have to pull out my phone and remind them that I know what I'm doing. So I go in and I'm looking in the guy's case, and there's a really lot of, you know, maples, a lot of just all kinds of generic coins. And I'm like, wow, this is a lot of really cool stuff. But family, now you know I've told a lot of you that I am collecting for an investment. I'm not really a collector where I'm not one to collect coins. And I think there's some really nice coins to collect. But for me, I'm doing this for my retirement. And if I'm not here for that, then my family can do whatever they like with the coins I have. But it's really to invest. So I'm always looking for the best price. But family, when I saw this coin, I was like, wow, that's a nice coin. Now, in these local coin shops, you can find some really good coins right now because people are actually getting rid of a lot of their collectibles. And here's the one I had to get. Look at that, family. I had to get the ancient Egyptian mythology Anubis. I love this coin. I love ancient Egypt. Even when I read it in the Bible or if I watch it on TV, because we know ancient Egypt lasted over 3,000 years. And a lot of us know that, you know, a lot of the United States of America, their money, the way we do certain things, they got it from ancient Egypt. Now, what I like about this Anubis is the jackal, right? And in the back, you can see a nice picture. Look at that. That is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. This is a 2 ounce. Look at the rim on that. And I was upset, like I said earlier, because I can't fill the coin. I cannot figure out how to open this thing up. And I've been trying to open it, and I don't know if it's my nails are too long. I got a little knife, you know, and I tried to pull it, you know, like right here where I think it opens. I can't get it open, and I can't touch it. I can't touch it. So right now, family, I'm just looking at it through the case, which I'm happy they had one. But when I pulled it up, I already knew this is an amazing coin. I love coins with detail and beauty and history. Now, the Anubis is the jackal-headed god associated with mummification and the afterlife. His primary role were to protect the dead, guide souls through the underworld, and oversee the vital weighing of the heart. It was a ceremony to determine who could enter the realm of eternal paradise. I love it because it's just like when we say as Christians that if you love the Lord, if you love Jesus, you'll follow his commands. So we follow his commands. We do the right thing. Everybody at the end of their life will have judgment. Well, in mythology, their judgment is they weigh your heart against a feather. And that's what he's doing right here. You can see in one side is the heart and one side is the feather. Now, if your heart weighs more than the feather, you cannot go through. So family, the heart represents sin. So this gentleman, the Anubis, was the one who was in charge of weighing of the heart. And what I love about this whole mythology is when you go into the Bible, it shows the story of Moses. And God said in the written word that he wanted Moses to be under the Egyptians because they were full of wisdom. They knew exactly what they were talking about. Hello, White Paul. White Paul's joining the party. Hello, White Paul. They love coins. They're just like me. But don't you be like Boo Boo. Remember Boo Boo a couple of episodes back, family? She stole that gold coin and ran off the table. White Paul's a little different. White Paul, she'll guard. She's like this guy here. She's going to guard the coins, right? So the Anubis, I guess I'll keep my cutie pie in the, because she wants to be a part of that party. Let me grab my coffee here. Let me get some more coffee. But anyway, family, that's so good. The Anubis was in charge of the dead and mummification, right? He handled doing the embalming and the mummification. And there was somebody else there that would do the judgment with him. And I think that's beautiful, family. What's beautiful about this coin, this is considered a collector coin. I had to have it because I love ancient Egypt. I love everything about ancient Egypt. I love looking at the tombs. I love because our ancient Egyptians had gold. They had so much gold and silver, family. They knew the value. So we love ancient Egypt. We love their wisdom. When you looked at those the stones, the tombs, they had boats drawn on the walls. They had war. You could see the people with the bow and arrows, and they had all that. They were very, very smart. They knew about the astrology. These guys were amazing. Sometimes I'd be up at night and I don't know what to watch. I always go to ancient Egypt stories or history, because the Lord, God said in the written word that he wanted Moses to be under the ancient Egyptians because they were full of wisdom that came from the Most High. And a lot of people remember the story of the Egyptians because they worshipped a lot of different gods, but they all didn't. There was a story in the Bible about Abraham. When Abraham was going to get, he had a beautiful wife. And remember, if you guys read where he went in and he was going to go into the land of the Pharaoh, and he was scared to say that his wife was his wife because they were scared they would kill him because she was beautiful, and he was scared they would take the wife. So what he did was he lied and said it was his sister. So when he went in and they saw how beautiful she was, and he said it was his sister, the Pharaoh was interested in his sister, not knowing it was his wife. But when he thought about getting with her, the Most High, God told the Pharaoh, don't touch her, because that is Abraham's wife. And he got so mad at Abraham that he went to Abraham and said, hey, you told me that was your sister. And, you could have got me killed, And that's when he found out that the Pharaoh had the same God. They worshiped the same God. So some of the Egyptians did, follow our Lord and Savior. We can see that in the book of Genesis when Moses got the Egyptians, when he got the Israelites out of Egypt, right? Remember, the multitude went with them. So there was a lot of them that were Egyptians that also went with the Hebrews, with the Israelites, to get out of Egypt. So I've always respected the fact that the Egyptians were full of wisdom, as our father said, and they were they lasted over 3,000 years. So we know that these guys were very, very significant, the history. So this coin, when I see the wane of the heart, it reminds us of, are we doing the right thing? Are we living a righteous life? And even in the pyramids, when you see the 42 negative confessions on the tombs, they had the 42 negative confessions, and in those 42 negative confessions were the 10 commandments. Can you believe that? We say, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, and so on, right? But in the negative confessions, the Egyptians would say, I did not steal, I did not lie, they were so educated, they were so smart. Man, these guys are amazing. Well, I'm so happy that when I saw this coin, I asked the gentleman, can I see that? And I looked at that and I said, Angel, you don't normally get coins like this, but you like ancient Egypt and you like the history, and it's real. This is up there with the Morgans. This is up there with the American Eagle. A matter of fact, this 2-ounce coin, if you look it up, it's the ancient Egyptian mythology. I think even Atmex and J. Bullion, is it J.B. Bullion or J.M. Bullion? They all, I think it's out of stock, but when they have it in stock, it's well over $150. I think sometimes I've seen it at $250 for this coin. Well, your sister got this coin at spot. I got this at spot. At the time when I got this coin, I believe we were at about $59 or $60 an ounce, something like that. Woo! Sorry about that, honey. You see my cat, she's like, woo! I'm sorry about that, White Paw. Did I scare you, White Paw? Oh, White Paw. Anyway, so I got this for about, I think it was $120. I got this for $120. And I'm so happy with this coin, family. It's a beautiful coin. I'm loving this coin. I love the history, the meaning. I love the detail of the coin. It is amazing. Look at White Paw. Now that's a good view. How about that? A nap, coffee, a nap, coffee, and our coins. That is amazing, family. Well, family, let's talk about, let me grab me some coffee right quick. And thank you guys for coming. Oh, God, that's so good. Man, I don't know if you guys ever tried that creamer, that macchiato. I love that. Oh, my God, that caramel macchiato. It is amazing. Very, very good creamer in the coffee. Try it out if you have not, but it's called caramel macchiato or caramel macchiato. But anyway, family, I was watching a video and it was talking about how, people aren't buying right now. And they were saying, even some of the dealers were talking to some of the people that were interviewing them, saying, hey, they're not buying any coins right now. They're not buying any coins right now. And I was thinking to myself, stackers are very, very intelligent people. Stackers that stack gold and silver, and they're growing their own food, and they're concerned about what's going on. They're very, very smart, highly intelligent people. And they realize that right now, with the prices going up, they have to make sure they have fiat money. They want to make sure they have their 401. If they don't have a 401, a lot of them have a Roth IRA. And they also probably have an envelope somewhere where they're probably putting 10 to 15% of their income in. And then when they have extra money, they go out and they buy coins. And they also have a little savings in their, in their metals. So they've been collecting this whole time. So now that it's dropping, it's been going 58, 59, 58, 59, 57, 58, 59. And it's been going up and down, up and down. So the stacker is saying, okay, well, it's all over the place. I don't have to be all over the place. So they're taking their time. They're stacking cash and they're putting their cash away. And when they feel like they want to buy something that makes sense to them, they're going to purchase. But right now, they're looking at, I have, my rent is high, my mortgage is high, gas is high. We're in the middle of a war. You know, hey, I don't have to run and buy every time they drop the price. Everybody is sticking to their plan, and their plan is to have some type of insurance, some type of savings outside of money and online digital assets. And there's nothing wrong with that. So when they were saying that no one's buying, I thought about myself and I said, well, Angel, why aren't you buying? And I said, well, I have been buying, but I'm just not going out there. When the dip went, I went and bought a whole nother, tube of American Eagles. Before that, I traded, some silver for an ounce of gold right before the dip. I did all kinds of things, just ordering a lot of gold, a lot of silver. And we're at the point now where we're just saying, okay, let me see what I like. So I'm going to local coin stores and looking at what I like. And there's a lot of things I like, but if it doesn't aha me like this was an aha moment. I was like, what? Look at that. That is beautiful. I got to have that in my stack. And because a lot of people are getting rid of their collectibles and their beautiful coins, you can catch this at a spot price from somebody that doesn't really care. Because a lot of these dealers are just, trying to get money right now. They got to pay their rent. They got to pay for those stores. They got to pay the light bill. Then they got a house that they live in that they got to pay that light bill. I get it. So right now when people come in, so they're looking for us to come in and sell to them. So the ones that are complaining that, oh man, everybody's selling, no one's buying, those are the ones that probably don't have their spreadsheets together. But the ones that are doing good business, they got their spreadsheet, they know what they can do, and they've been prepared for times like this. They're happy because they're like, okay, cool. I can get these coins like this. Like if somebody went in right now with American Eagle and they had to, get rid of it, they can get this. They can get this shiny coin right now for probably $50 from someone who has an emergency. So they're happy. They're getting, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take this. And the guy probably ran in there with this. He probably spent some good money. He probably had the whole collection. And, he probably said, okay, 2 ounces, I'll give you, I can give you 100 for it. I can give you 100 for it. So the guy probably got $100 for this coin at the shop, right? For the 2 ounces, $50 an ounce. And I came in and got it for 120, right? At spot. So he made $20. That's the way it works. So, they're looking, some of these dealers are looking to get silver, and some that are full of silver, they're looking for you to buy. So they're saying, well, now that it's a dip, we got a whole bunch of stuff we've bought from people. So they're looking for people like us to go in there and buy. But some of us, we have some of the things we want. Some of us are looking at more gold right now. Some of us are looking at, is it going to go a little bit lower? So we're all over the place as they're all over the place. Just thinking about, what's the best deal for us, family. So family, let me know what you think about my new coin. Oh, she must be having a dream over there. Tell me what you think about this coin, family. Is this something you would purchase? Would you have bought this 2-ounce Egyptian mythology Anubis for $120? I love this coin. This is nice. This is, man, I love that. I don't know what the other ones look like. I heard there was a whole set that came out in 2015. Like I said, I'm more of an investor, but I like Anubis. I like what he stands for. I like the weighing of the heart. I like that. That is amazing. Family, make sure you hit that like, smash that notification bell, and subscribe to your sister channel. I love you guys. I really thank you guys. I hope I didn't make anybody cringe when I was touching some of these coins. I'm trying to do better. I really don't want to put no gloves on because when I get off of here, you know what's going to happen. But anyway, family, thank you guys for watching. Say bye, White Paul. Say bye-bye. She's sleeping. All right, White Paul sleeping. She's in heaven. She got her coffee. She got her coins. She good. All right, family. On the way out, hit that like, smash the notification bell, and subscribe to your sister channel. And thanks for hanging out. Peace out.